Isagi, it's time to cook. Thank you to our fellow patrons, Red Wolf 4765, Midnight Lord, and Sean. Another thank you to our $3 members, Recliner Plays and Red Wolf 4765. And a very big thank you to our $10 patron, Robbie Uchiha. Another very big thank you to our $25 patron, Alex Ice Rose. And a very big thank you to our $25 member, Alex Ice Rose. Now, we're having this breakdown, discussion, live reaction, and analysis to chapter 217 of Peak NIKKO. Please leave your all thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also hit that little notification bell to miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also I do have a Patreon down below, each one for as low as $1 a month. Get the exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the live reaction. What's up guys, I'm Punch here. Here we are to do a live reaction to chapter 217 of Peak NIKKO, which is known as Predator Eye, aka Isagi. You need that new DLC, bro. Like, I don't know what store Baro bought it off of, but you need to find that store. You need to cop it yourself and get you that new Predator Eye DLC, because you can't be getting styled on like that. And to be fair, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's not like Isagi still has much help. Like, he still just has Corona. And he got jumped by the whole team. But, like, still, regardless, dog, you can't have Baro come in and swagging and styling on y'all like this. Like, I was out here rooting for y'all. Because I was like, Isagi, you got the tech. You got the DLC. You watched the tapes, right? Like, if you watched the tapes, you should have seen this. But maybe this is a new tech. Maybe this is a new tech. Because, you know, things change. Maybe the tech wasn't ready. Maybe the tech was not available until you're live on the pitch. So, Isagi, open up your app store, open up your video game store, whatever. I need you to go to the DLC, drop the $30 on it, get that new DLC upgrade, and then start playing on an even tier. Because my boy, you can't be letting Baro score on you this quick. This is gonna be the quickest game in the league if we really keep going at this pace. Everyone was complaining about Manshine being long. Now we're gonna be here for like 10 chapters only because y'all are scoring too quickly. So let's calm it down. Let's calm it down. Let's get it, Isagi. But let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Editing B, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, I do have it on me, and I keep it on me at all times. But as you know, as well, this is Peak NIKKO. And when we are reading Peak, considering it's been Peak every single time, even when chapters I don't like, or chapters that have things that I don't agree with, it's still always been Peak. There has not been, I legit don't think there's been a chapter lower than a 9 out of 10. Like, straight up, there's not been a chapter lower than a 9 out of 10. So I'm going to do it. I'm pre-drawn. Obviously, if things don't work out, if this chapter somehow ends up not being Peak, would that even be a miracle? Like, what's the opposite of a miracle? Like, whatever the opposite of a miracle is, and this chapter ends up not being Peak, then I'll do an Irish jig. Live. Feet cam and everything. No, I'm kidding. Y'all already get the hand cam. Y'all don't need the feet cam. But regardless, let's see if it's worthy of the pre-draw. Let's not waste any more time. All right. The goalkeeper couldn't move a single step with Baro Shohei's stealth mid-range kill shot. Ubers levels the game back up. All right. A kill shot that caught the goalkeeper off guard. While Isagi has been evolving at a rapid rate, so too has the king. All right. So, already, thoughts on this? I think I kind of already went over it. I'm happy for Baro, all right? I respect that he's a lot of people's favorite character. He's definitely like Isagi, Rin. I'm not sure. Once again, Nagi fell off so hard in Manshine, bro. I'm not sure I can, like, definitively give Nagi top 5 anymore. And I know that's crazy, especially considering, I think I've told y'all this already, but Nagi was literally my favorite character. Pre-Manshine, he was probably my favorite character in the entire story, which is crazy to think that he's fallen off, like he's out of the top 5. I don't think I can put him confidently in top 5. So it goes Isagi, Rin, and this isn't in order, by the way. I'm just, like, naming 5 characters I like more. Heck, I'm more interested in Kunigami and his future now. I think my boy Chigiri, he's still up there. He ain't never been lacking. And, like, no, Rayo fans, I will never align with you. Even Ego a better kid. Nah, no, but I even like Snuffy more now. Like, Snuffy may have snuck his way straight into my top 5. And Hiyori's up there, too. And, like, it's crazy. Nah. But not above Baro. Like, here's the thing. I think Baro still is definitively top 5. I think I do got to put him, I got to slide him in there. He may be number 5 or 4. Or even 3 on a good day. So, like, I'm happy for my boy. I'm happy that he, like, He got some logic talked into him. Like, can you imagine if Baro was just benched? I honestly, like, I want to see that alternate timeline where Baro really said, no, I'm like legit not going to play with you. I'm just gonna grind in the background off screen and just not do anything for the rest of the series. Like, I low-key want to see that timeline because I don't think Snuffy would have played him. Like, being completely real with you, I don't think Snuffy was ever gonna fold. Baro was going to have to fold. I don't think Snuffy was going to be like, oh, well, fine, Baro, we'll put you on the field. I don't think he was gonna do that. I think Snuffy was like, you'll work under me. I'll make you better, and then I'll play you. If not, I think Snuffy would have. The thing is, though, who's the striker, though? That's the thing. Who's the striker if not Baro on Ubers? Because you can't move Aiku. Like, Aiku, he wants to be a striker. He has that. He has the ego. You see it on the cover. I agree with everyone else in the theories that, like, the chain around everyone's neck and the volume covers represents. Why is my voice so? Whew. I gotta stay hydrated. Stay hydrated, folks. But hold on. No, I agree with everyone else, though, in the idea that, like, the chains in the volume covers represent their ego and the levels of ego. That's why some people's chains are cracked. That's why some people's chains are thicker. That's why some people's chains are heavier. Like, all that. I completely agree with that. And we see Aiku still has the chain. It's still there. He still has the ego. And obviously, we see in the U20 game, like, Say was even like, wow, look at you, a selfish captain. I see how you be. Go ahead. Try to take your shot, oh boy. So, like, Aiku definitely could do it. He even has the build of a striker in my mind. He has a great defensive build, don't get me wrong. But, like, he could be it, but then you lose the final wall. Like, you can't just get rid of the final wall. Like, see, that's the unfortunate thing about Aiku's character. Like, he really, even though he joined Blue Lock, which is all about making the best striker in the world, it's too late. Like, it's too, I think he even admitted that in the Utani game. Like, it's just too late for him. So, like, I don't even see him being a striker. And then, like, no offense to my boy Nico, bro. Nico was never going to be a striker. Is that crazy? Like, notably, I'm an Isagi fan, so notably, I can't say never. I can't say never to Nico, but, like, as much as I love my boy, like, how tall is... I get it. He can definitely have his growth spurt. He's, like, 15. He's 15. I think he's, like... I got the Googler right here on me. I'm about to figure out how tall Nico is. But I think he's, like, 5'5"? Or, like, 5'6"? Because Isagi's 5'9", I'm pretty sure. How tall is Nico Iki? Let me take a look. I don't think he's that tall at all. He does just, like, this is straight up where I believe he does not have the size. 173 centimeters. What's 173 centimeters? Come on, pencil, you can do the translations. You lived in a country with a metric system for 5 years. You can do this, pencil. Because 170 is 5'8". So 173. Forget it. I'm being lazy. 173 centimeters to feet. 173 centimeters to feet. 5'6". So bro's 5'6". Darn. Well, he's 5'6.67 feet. So he's like 5'7", realistically. But, like, I don't know, bro. Like, Isagi's already pushing it. Don't get me wrong. I think Isagi needs a growth spurt. Nico could definitely get a growth spurt. 15, I've known people who didn't have growth spurts till, like, 19. Like, one of my bros, he was short. Like, straight up, beneath my shoulder short. And once again, I'm 5'2". How long can I pedal? But, yeah, like, I'm 5'2". So, like, he was shorter than me. And then he shot. He's still not taller than me. But, like, still, he went from, like, a solid 5'3", 5'4" for majority of his life to 6 foot. Like, bro's 6 foot flat now. That's a big glow up. And it happened when he was like 19. Like, he leveled up. So Nico could definitely get a growth spurt, and obviously he's already in Blue Lock, so he's just gonna get the striker training. But I don't think against the competition he's up against, I don't think Nico could have substituted in either. Are you maybe? He was number 3 in Blue Lock, or number 2. I forget which one he was. But he was up there for a reason, but, like, still, I think it would suffer. The only team that I think they could still beat is Barca, because Barca sucks. Like in retrospect, they really were. They are the worst team in the league. Mainly because, like, they just lack characters. Like, Otoya and Bachira are great, but they aren't like crazy. So I guess Baro really is just, like, the only option. So maybe Snuffy would be forced to play him, but knowing Snuffy crafty, he would have figured it out. But let's see. Ubers levels the game back up. This is a pretty cool. I just don't like, I don't know why. I can't even, like, is it weird? You ever have those characters that you don't like, but you can't verbalize why? Like, I can tell you why I don't like other characters. I can explain to you why I don't like Nabi. I can explain to you why I don't like Toga. I can explain to you why I'm not the biggest fan of Midori. I can explain to you why I don't like... I have so many characters I don't like. Why is one escape? I can explain why I don't like Uraraka's right. I can explain all that. I cannot tell you why I don't like Sendo, other than I just don't like him. Like, he just gives me bad vibes. And, like, he's not even real. He's in the manga for, like, what? We're 217 chapters deep. Total panel time, if you were to compile it into a chapter, he's probably in the manga for the entirety of, like, one chapter. Maybe two, for being generous. He does make a couple appearances in the U20, plus the couple appearances he's had now. But, like, I don't know. I just don't like Brody. I have no idea why. The only people that are lower than him in my personal Blue Lock character rankings are Igaguri and Tadanoku, whatever that one guy's name was. The one guy that missed the goal for Ichina and that Isagi gave to him at the beginning of the series. That guy, because of what he did post U20. Those are the only two characters I like less than Sendo. And, like, it's, like, vitriolic. So, like, notably, there are a lot of characters in Blue Lock that I'm just generally indifferent to. Like, I'm mostly indifferent to Rayo now. Like, I used to not like him, but now I'm just, like, after y'all explained it to me, I'm like, yeah, you're right. like it's how I feel with Dabi, right? Even though someone put it very eloquent to me. A ton of went into Dabi's character. You just don't like it. And that's true. That's true. Like, I can't even deny that. Like, yeah. There's a lot of writing behind a lot of these characters that I just don't happen to like. And that's just because I just don't happen to like them. There's no deep, philosophical, ideological, any sort of fancy reasoning behind it. I just don't like them. And I think that's the same thing with Sendo. I just do not like him. Except he doesn't have much real writing. But still, I just don't like, bro. He ugly. He's stupid. He dumb. He bubbled. Oh, sorry. Stop. But Ubers levels the game back up. All right. Shout out to my boy, though. Shout out to my boy. And can we talk about, like, Sendo's not big, but he's not, like, tiny or anything. Barrow's really just posted up. Like, if someone were to hop on my shoulders like that, like, he got some serious airtime, too. What? Barrow's, like, 6'1", and Sendo's foot is halfway above. Like, he's, like, 3 foot up in the air. And he's supporting himself on one. Yo, Sendo would work me in a fight. Like, yo, what? The kind of physical strength this takes, the kind of physical strength that Barrow has, yo, that is crazy. Nico, uncover those eyes, bro. Uncover those eyes, bro. Like, I get it. It's part of your character, and it's always cool when the eyes pop up, but uncover them eyes, bro. Like, really, bro? Like, how do you see? I don't know. I never got that. Like, I've had friends who, like, do, like, the super big fringe or have, like, the one eye covered. I literally asked them, like, can you see? Do you have depth perception? Like, especially the one eye thing. Like, maybe the over-the-top fringe, you have, like, special ways to see through that. Because, like, obviously, there's something behind that. There's some mystical magic that you can do. Because you never bump into anything. I bump into things more often than my one friend who had the omega fringe. Or the super long curly hair that would pretty much blow in their face all the time. They never bumped into stuff whenever I was around them. But I would bump into stuff when I was around them. So maybe I just absorbed all their blindness. But with that being the case, especially the one covered eye, like, what is that? Like, depth perception? You just don't want that? Like, you know how many people would love to have both eyes and you're just covering one willingly? Like, why? I never got that. But no, Nico's out there just... I can't see anything. I legit can't see. Like, I have impressions of where the light is. Like, the ring light, I know where that is because it's still burning through my retinas. That's about it. Everything, like, how do you see? And notably, obviously, you can tell, I have not... The most hair I've ever had in my life was probably, like, boop, that much more. Never had an afro, never had anything like that. My hair never got super long. So obviously I could maybe just never get the appeal of a hairstyle like this, but why? like I don't why would you do just cut your hair? Like, just cut it, bro. Just cut it. Like, at least Barrow. Like, Barrow can have his hair down. If Barrow's hair were to just straight flop over his head, he'd be blind too. But at least he gels it up. Like, come on now, Nico. Raise your hair up. But let's see. What's wrong, Isagi? Don't tell me that's all you got, you loser. Alright, once again, Isagi, like, Isagi has some of my favorite, like, dynamics with a lot of his side characters within his own story. And it's very hard to do. Like, I love Itadori Yuji. Actually, no, Denji has really good dynamics too. So, like, I'm not even gonna, I can't even, I was about to, like, bang, like, hit Denji with the straight. I can't hit Denji with the straight. Denji's also, he really smooth with it. And even Itadori, he's smooth with it for the most part. But, like, Isagi has so many rivals. Like, think about it. In Blue Lock, he has Bachira. I mean, Bachira's more like a friendly guy, but no, they still have some sort of a rivalry. They still compete with each other. Then Kunigami, as of recent, for the most part. I would say they're more allies than rivals, but now they're definitely rivals. You can definitely see that. Even if Kunigami's willing to help Isagi out in certain little subtle, edgy Kunigami ways, they're still mostly rivals. Chigiri, obviously a rival. You see how they interact. Obviously Nagi. Nagi's whole thing was rivaling Isagi for a while and trying to beat him. Reo as a backpack to Nagi. That's 5 already. Then you have Rin. Shido's kind of weird. I wouldn't... It's technically true, but Shido's kind of everyone's rival. Shido... The only guy Shido likes to say. Like, literally. But, like, the only guy should like to say. So it's kind of hard to say that. I know people chalk Say in there, too, but I don't think Say views Isagi as a viable threat. I don't think he viewed anyone in the U20 as a realistic viable threat. So I would kind of put that. But that's still, like, 6, 7. Baro. I didn't even mention Baro. So that's, like, 7 solid rivals. That's 7 characters he has an interesting dynamic with just based on how they interact. And who knows? He's probably going to get Kaiser. That's 8. You can probably get to 10. If you stretch Yuki Maya, like, I'm just thinking of them. They're just popping in my dome piece. If you want to count it right, Chi. Like, there are so many characters that Isagi has direct, like, antagonistic vibes with. And I love it. I love it. It's very good to tie It's very good to tie characters in that, like, antagonistic way, because you typically can bring out more. It's good to have friends, like in real life and in stories. It's good to have friends or people that will agree with you, work alongside you. You're good to have your Coronas, your Hioris, your Nanases. It's good to have those like that. But specifically to make your characters memorable, to make sure that they don't like feel overshadowed by your main character, which is what happens a lot in a lot of other manga or stories in general. I can't even just say manga. I usually go to manga because that's what I talk about on the channel for the most part. But in stories in general, usually like the friend type characters or anyone who doesn't have like a direct antagonistic or like pseudo antagonistic relationship with the main character, they usually end up falling to the wayside in terms of like, oh, what can this character do within the narrative if not support the main character? That's kind of just the weakness of it. That's why it's good to have like 1 or 2 friend characters while everyone else should be sort of like either neutral or against your main character, because that's how you set up these interesting dynamics. That's why, in my opinion, Baro's so memorable, because he has such an interesting dynamic with Isagi. Why Rin's so memorable, because he has Rin has his own story, but also a really interesting dynamic with Isagi, Chigiri, Bachira, Akuna, Matata, like legitimately everyone. It's so good. The Blue Elf mangaka, Kaneshiro Sensei, has done a fantastic job of building these characters around Isagi and Isagi intertwining into these characters in order to create dynamics like this. Like, this is something that hits so well because these two are so well connected to each other. They are just Himothes, respective to each other. I think that's neat. And let's see. There's no way to stop that shot. Uber's came. Oh, wait. What voice? Did I just give Isagi my voice? Did I just give him my voice? I think I pitched it up slightly. Hold on. There's no way. Uber's probably came up with a game plan designed to crush me as soon as they nicked the ball off me and went for the counter. Yeah. I would in fact agree. Isagi, that is very, very likely what they were cooking, bro. Like, if I had to chalk it up to something, it probably would be that. I would assume they did that. And you gotta remember, like, I wonder what would have happened, though. Like, can you imagine if Isagi said no? Like, specifically remember, Lorenzo was told, he went up to Isagi a few chapters back when he revealed that he's a cat in human form. Remember when he was like, hey, oh, that was a nice goal you had there, kiddo. Like, that was kind of heat. You know, I like it. Hey, tell me, bro. Level with me real quick. Can we consider you an ace too? Like, do you say you're like the second ace of BM? Like, you sure about that? And Isagi said, yeah. Make sure you mark me. Make sure you don't mark the wrong guy, Ace Eater. Well, no. He straight up, like, Isagi does go immediately for the most degrading of insults. Like, come on, Isagi. But if he had said no, he was like, nah, just sleep. Stay slump for all I care. If he had just like told Lorenzo no, would Ubers actually have the incentive to go after him? Like, obviously they probably would, right? Because he scored. He was the first person to score in the entire game. But even with that, like, you really think about it, would they? Because obviously Isagi's dangerous, but like without the command of Lorenzo, I'm assuming Lorenzo's kind of like the pseudo captain. Baro's like the head captain. Like, obviously the whole team is built around him. But like, I would say if Lorenzo said don't bother with him, don't bother with him. Like, Lorenzo didn't care too much about Ness. He cared about Kaiser. He marked Kaiser. He built the entire anti-meta thing around Kaiser. So now he's built that anti-meta thing around Isagi, but if Isagi said no, I wonder what would have happened. But let's see. Even before I even had a chance to stop them, they executed their plan to perfection and scored. But the way they were so in sync, it's not something you can... A-dub? A-dub? Someone, what is A-dub? I'm gonna Google it. I'm about to say, what do y'all tell me? What is A-dub? A-dub? Merriam-Webster. The sound of a dub beating. Rub-a-dub. I don't think A-dub... I'm gonna do it. A-dub Urban Dictionary. Maybe it's just a mistranslation or something like that. That's happened before where, you know, things don't do too well. Let me see. A-dub Urban Dictionary. Yeah, I think it was just a typo. I have no idea. Even when I put it into the almighty Googler, I couldn't find anything around A-dub. So I have no idea what that is. But let's see. They executed their plan to perfection and scored. But the way they were so in sync, it's not something you can adopt off the fly. And the timing to know when to execute their plan. It's impossible to pull that off without some hardcore training. A team with a myriad of contingency plans based on both offense and defense. So this is the backbone of Uber's strength. Yeah, actual team coordination. How crazy is that, Isagi? You actually get the team to work together and you can do amazing. Can you imagine? Like, I get it. Obviously, I'm loving Isagi versus Kaiser. I think, is it my favorite rivalry? Even more than, and I know that's crazy to say. I know because like Rin versus Isagi got so much time, so much development. All of section selection was essentially, Isagi lost to Rin. Let's get Isagi up to Rin's level and then have Isagi work under Rin to learn everything that, like, we know, I know. But, like, in terms of just sheer animosity and hatred between the two, like, I don't think you could ever say Isagi hated Rin. I don't think Isagi would ever, like, grab his head, his veins would start popping, he'd be like, I'm gonna take your life. Like, I don't think it was ever like that. I don't think Rin was ever like, Isagi, you're almost big enough to eat. Like, I know the Risagi fans want it to be that way, but like I don't think it was ever like that. So the animosity between the two is so intriguing, and obviously, you know, I love Isagi and Kuroda plus Kagamaru, I guess, versus the world. I think that's fantastic. But like, can you imagine if BM actually decided to play together? Like, think about it. Think about what if actually these games would be over in minutes. Can you imagine if Isagi and Kaiser were actually like working alongside each other? Can you imagine the core of Isagi, Kaiser, Ness, and Corona? They would be literally unstoppable. They would be literally, you add Ness the Magician, who can do the long range. You add Corona, who can do the short range. And you have Kaiser and Isagi, who can literally read the entire field and get in places to where they're both, they would end these games instantaneously. It's the fact that they are working against each other. Like, if they could compile, even with the whole stealing thing, or like appearing to steal, or interfere with each other's plays, if that was built into their game strategy more, like, okay, Kaiser made a mistake here, I'll come in and capitalize, and then I'll take it, and Kaiser will work back around and join me. Or vice versa. Oh, Isagi made a mistake here, I'll come in around, take that back, and then we'll keep going. That could work. They would be unstoppable, at least in my mind, especially considering the BM, I think, has the highest ratio of people who can score to people who can't score. Like, think about Barcha. It's mainly Otoya and Bachira, plus that one dude who I still can never remember the name of. Think of Manshine. Admittedly, three scorers, but I'd say Rayo's kind of iffy on scoring. Actually, no. He's good. Especially you read the one shot. Or not the one shot, the side story. He's good at scoring too. So that's three. That's three main people you have for scoring. And I guess Agi could score too. We just never necessarily see it. So that's four. Four's a nice number. Definitely up from the 3 we had last time. Even for Ubers, I'd say, like, let's give it to Aiku. Let's be generous. Let's give it to Aiku. Let's give it to Ryu. Let's give it to, obviously, Baro. And let's give it to Nico. Let's be generous. That's another 4. That's another 4 right there. And even Sendo is a striker too. Let's level it up to 5. You know how many strikers or people who could score that are on BM? Everybody is, except for, like, Grim and Ness, I guess. Even then, Ness was, like, properly used for a fake out. So maybe he could score too. Don't sleep on Ness. But with that being the case, think about it. Isagi. Corona was ranked 4 in second selection, so he probably has some scoring ability. He's just helping out Isagi right now. Then you have Kunigami. Then you have Yukimaya. Then you have Kaiser. Then you have, Patty cake, bakers. Is that it? Is there only 5? But still, 5 is solid. Like, and that's 5, like, determined, real, top of the line. Like, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you. Versus Ubers, where realistically it's borrow. Like being completely real with you, it's borrow. It's just borrow. And maybe RU and Aiku. I'm sorry, I'm still not giving Nico the props. And that may be wrong. I should probably give my son more credit. But, like, I still can't give Brody the props like that. So, like, I say BM has the potential to be the most offensively dominant. It's just that half the time they're fighting each other. And they still have managed to win all their games. Think about that. Every other team, for the most part, has been cohesive. The only time there's, like, a little bit of conflict, a teeny tiny bit of conflict within the Manshine match when Nagi and Rayo regressed their characters. There's a little bit of conflict with that. But then they're like, oh, fine, whatever, we'll just play. And then they played together, fine. There's not been a single moment where the two halves of BM have actually decided to stop being two halves and actually work together. Not a single moment. They're always getting each other's way. Can you imagine if they actually didn't? I understand why it can't, because they'd stomp the league. They would literally just stomp the league. Like, I think it would, and they're already low-key, like, Millie rocking on any block all over the league. They're already kind of doing that. But they would especially stomp the league if it really came down to it like that, if they were really to work together. Which is why I still think, I know a lot of Ubers fans are like, oh, Ubers got to win this one. And notably, they did bring up a good point. The idea that every single time a team scores first that they lose was brought up. Isagi did score first. And we see in Manshine and in Barcha, who scored first, Barcha and Manshine, and they ended up losing. So, like, that's the thing. I'd be fine with Borrow being the catalyst to have BM and Blue Lock work together, BM and BL finally be like, fine. We ain't losing again. We need to have a nigh on spotless win record. And it could almost be like a round robin. Oh, wow. Wowie. But nah, it could almost be like a first selection kind of thing, where it's like a round robin tournament in order to make sure, like, oh, the top league gets the most players selected from it to be viable for the Japan U20 team. Like, it could be something like that, where, like, oh, you need to have a really good win-loss ratio. And then the only people who would have a spotless win record would not be Barcha, would not be Manshine, wouldn't even be Ubers, because they've already lost too. It would be PXG. And then you have PXG be the final wall that the BM needs to overcome in order to match PXG and have a 3-1 record. So, like, they can be the top 2 teams, getting people picked from them in order to play for the U20. That could be it. However, I still think I would like the catalyst for Isagi and Kaiser setting aside their differences and really locking it down to be Rin and Shido working together, to be PXG, the overwhelming offense that they're going to have. Second, once again, I'd say not even second, to be completely real. Well, no, Kaiser's too good. Kaiser's too goated. So, like, Kaiser alone is still better than everything on PXG, at least in my mind, except for, like, Loki, obviously. But still, even with that being the case, I want that to be the catalyst, where they're like, whoa, like, let them get scored on like that, like immediately. Like, the game opens, Rin and Shido dominating down the field, Rin's automatically in flow, and bro hits it, lobs it to Shido hits the bicycle kick. Thank you for telling me what that is. I feel so stupid not remembering it's a bicycle kick. But, like, bicycle kicks it in, boom, they score, like, within, like, the first minute. And then Kaiser and Isagi are like, whoa. Okay. We don't got time for this. That's what I want to be. And then that's the main reason I think in the four game progression arc that we're going on right now, I think it would work if it went game 1, Isagi getting on the field and adding value. Game 2, Isagi getting on the field, adding value, and beating Kaiser as a playmaker. Game 3, Isagi getting on the field, beating Kaiser as a playmaker, and beating Kaiser as a striker, getting 2 goals, and Kaiser gets 1. And then 4, now that the two are definitive equals in all aspects, they take their equality and work together to raise to a higher level and have a chemical reaction against PXG to beat them. And I know it's kind of boring, like, oh, the main character's team has to win everything. Yeah, I know, and that's why I'm kind of fine. Like, as much as I wouldn't want Ubers to win, I'm fine with Ubers winning. Like, I think it works out fine for the narrative too. Like, that could be the catalyst for them to work together. And then we open the PXG game with the two sides having reconciled their differences, and now we're a united front against Zentetsu, not Chigiri, Zentetsu, Tokimitsu, Shido, Rin, all that, and then they're really that front there. I don't know. I'd kind of like it if Isagi gets to win. Because if they lose, think about it, if they lose, then at best, Kaiser would have to score 1 goal and they'd be tied. But I think the whole goal, like last game was beating Kaiser as a playmaker. This game has to be beating Kaiser as a striker, and that's scoring goals. So I feel like unless Isagi gets 2 goals and Kaiser gets no goals this game because he gets locked down by Lorenzo the entire time. That could be possible. But I'm in the camp, I 100% believe that Kaiser is going to lose Ness one way or another. Either after this next play or whatever, Kaiser's going to lose Ness, and we're finally going to have to see Kaiser try. Like, we're just going to have to see Kaiser really show off. Because we've seen him enter flow. And now note, I know people don't consistently agree on this, but I believe Black Skelera is flow. Does flow mean you're going 100% all out in terms of all your stats? I'm not sure about that anymore. But because we've seen characters have the Black Skelera, but like I don't think Chris Prince was going all out when he was like sprinting down the field to stop Isagi. Maybe he was, because his veins were bulging. But like we've seen Kaiser when he stops Isagi's goal and was like, well, excuse me, he has the Black Skelera. But we haven't seen Kaiser sweat. We haven't seen Kaiser really do what it do. You know what I'm saying? He's really been suppressing himself the entire match, which is still very impressive. Bro's been styling on everybody casually, mostly in base. But it would be interesting to see him go out and score on his own and prove why he's still in the running to be the #1 striker. Like, yeah, sure, everyone's focused on the Blue Lock characters, but now Kaiser should be up there. He's the only person out of the teams we've been introduced to so far. I don't know about PXG, but he's the only person that we've been introduced to so far out of all the Neo Ecosys League teams that have a character that's built within these teams that's not a Blue Locker that could also be up for best striker in the world position. Think about it. Barca didn't have one. It was just Pachira. That's it. Manshine didn't have one. It was Nagi, Reo, and Chigiri. That's it. Agi wasn't that. Barca didn't really have one except for that one dude whose name I always forget. So that just leaves us with Ubers, and Ubers didn't have one either. Lorenzo's a defender. He's not even a striker. He's the world's greatest defender, or like the best of the new Gen World 11, but he's not. He's a defender. He's not a striker. So Kaiser's the only one that's really shown up and be like, yeah. Like, I'm him. I'm him. I'm in that competition too. Don't sleep. So it would be cool to see him finally go all out, finally stress a little bit, get a little sweat on his brow, like legit, because we just haven't seen it. I think it'd be great to see before we go into PXG, so we have an understanding of what can pop off in PXG. If we see Kaiser sweat, if we see him like, boom, this is it, that's when I'm going to be like, oh, okay. So both him and Isagi pushing their limits, going all out. That's when it can get crazy. That's when it can get tragic, new panic. But I want to see it used against each other first. So when it's used together, it's even more hype. But that's up in the air. Let's see. I've been talking for so long. But that still doesn't fully explain Baro's shot. The fact that Gagamaru couldn't even react means they somehow threw off his timing? If that's the case, Baro didn't shoot when he wanted to. He patiently waited for the exact moment when they threw off Gagamaru's timing to... patiently waited. I see. A new way to utilize his vision. The predator eye, if you will, my friend. But that's interesting, right? Because it was explained last chapter. Just wait until the goalie... Not only is the goalie's sight blocked, but it's blocked to the point where they just straight up couldn't react. Like if the ball was sent around, they just could not react to it. And remember, Gagamaru has like, I'd say definitively the best reaction speed out of all the Blue Lockers, like just hands down, because he fought a grizzly bear. I don't know what Kaneshiro Sensei was on, because they released those like polls. Who's the top 3 best fighters? Who's the like all those things? Who's the best at this? Who's the worst at this? Shido was #1. When Gagamaru fought a bear, like you know why his ears are scarred? Because he fought a bear and won, and seemingly skinned. I'm not sure if that like bear suit we see him wearing in the off day of the U20, I'm not sure if that's the bear he beat, but I think it is. So like, Gagamaru should be the #1 best fighter and has some of the best reaction speed, but no, he couldn't react at all. So that's super impressive for Baro to pull off. But specifically, it's explained that still the conditions need to be met. So Gagamaru is likely going to block one of Baro's shots. I think that is kind of inevitable here, because we aren't going to have Gagamaru get reduced to fodder here. So I think what Isagi's probably going to have to do is put Baro in a situation, and put Ubers in general into a situation where Gagamaru always has a line of sight, no matter what. Gagamaru can always tell where the ball is and always tell who has the ball, so he can block the stealth shots. Because if it's not Whew, sorry, I don't know. Early morning voice. But if we get into a scenario like that where Barrow's shots are now readable, then Gagamaru will be able to react and block it. That's the thing. I think I can see that happening. But it'll be the difficult thing of like getting Ubers to not flood the end goal or like the back half of the field, because that's what Uber's really good at. By throwing so many bodies in front of the goalkeeper, it's just going to be hard to see. So Isagi somehow being able to break that up, it's going to be rough. I'm very interested to see how he's going to do it. And I think that's his only path to get rid of Predator Eye, because it's not like Uber's is going to stop crowding the upper field. It's not like they're going to freely give up what their striker is going to be doing. So obviously putting them in the scenario where they can't do that and Barrow's going to be forced to take a shot where he didn't want to, or he had to be impatient, it's going to be hard to do, but I think Isagi's going to have to do it. That's the only way to kind of beat this thing, at least in my mind. But let's see. A new way to utilize his vision. Of course, I saw with Barrow's shooting ability. If he manages to throw off the goalkeeper's timing, he can mass-produce goals at an efficient rate. That's true. We do know that. That's why he's constantly... Oh, look, he got the puzzle. Oh, Barrow, you in trouble, bro. You see them pieces? They're puzzling. I don't know. Barrow, you may have given Isagi the new DLC. You may have given him the new DLC, Barrow. Maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe you shouldn't have did that. Uh-oh. That way he can see the exact moment the opponent drops its guard. There's no doubt that this is Barrow's new recipe. It clearly says peace, but my brain went recipe. A vision centralized in outreading. The goalkeepers in 1v1s to mass-produce goals. Predator eyes. Interesting, though. I guess he technically does have a 1v1 with the goalkeeper, but it really isn't. Like that, I wouldn't call that a 1v1. What Barrow just did, that's not a 1v1. That's literally like not 20, but that's like a 5v1. Because he's specifically using bodies to crowd the goalkeeper's sight. Obviously, the other team's bodies too. They're just going to have to be in the way to defend from Barrow. But the fact that that's working like that, I wouldn't call that a 1v1. I would call that almost like an overstimulation thing. Like, you got to just keep overstimulating your opponent. So 1v1, a little bit questionable, but who knows? It may count. And this is a really fire image of Barrow. I like that the lion is now just clinging to him. Though admittedly, it doesn't look as majestic as it does sometimes. But this is a more casual shot. But let's see. A totally different vision from Metavision. You're gonna have to boop, boop. You're gonna have to link them together. Because the thing with Isagi's goals is that he's really reliant on the idea of facing the goalkeeper fairly. Like remember how Ego set up the dream scenario at the beginning of Blue Lock? All that's left, you've broken past all the defense. Final minute of the last half, you have this one chance, this one shot. All that's between you and victory is the goalkeeper. What do you do? Isagi specifically is put in those situations. That's what his Metavision always leads him to. Even when he scored his first goal in the Neo Egotist League, that was a situation where he was just 1v1 with the goalkeeper. That was just him and the goalkeeper. That was just that right then and there. And Ness came in, obviously, to help the goal keep out. But still, that was the scenario that was at hand. But with that being the case, a situation where Isagi can manipulate Metavision in order to utilize Predator Eye would be great. Because then Isagi can start to not necessarily expand his range, I'd say. I say his range is still the same, but he can utilize his range in different ways and become more dangerous with scoring. Does he have a powerful mid-range shot like Barrow? No. Does he have an insane curve shot like Rin? No. Does he have the insane off-the-wall extreme spatial awareness and shooting capability that Shido does? No. But if he can utilize his eyes in that special way, utilize that vision in that little fancy, gorgeous way that Isagi can in implementing Predator Eye, he could probably start being more useful even on heavily defensive scenarios where he doesn't have to break past the defense. He can in fact use the defense to his advantage. And then he's adding another layer, another mix of more danger. Because that's essentially, my opinion, what makes a team more dangerous or makes a striker more dangerous. When they are not just like they have the one formula, where they have multiple formulas where they can guarantee goals. And Isagi mainly has the one. Rin has like 3. Shido has the penalty box. The penalty box, if he's there, he's scoring. Even then, we've seen if he's outside the penalty box and enters flow, he's scoring. There are a variety of things he can do. Even Nagi, I'll give Nagi credit. He can kind of just do it. He can do I forget how exactly the comment thread went, but it was like, Nagi and Shido, I am within the... I'm within the general vicinity of the goal. I shall now score. That's their thing. And that works out. That works out. It's still kind of a formula. But if you have multiple guaranteed formulas, then I think that makes you more dangerous. And that's kind of what Isagi needs to level up. Unless you have like an entirely dominant goal scoring fashion like Kaiser. Kaiser, if he's in Kaiser impact range, you're not stopping. I'm sorry, bro. The fastest swing speed, faster than the well-Noah swing speed. You aren't going to stop that. But for someone like Isagi who doesn't have that little biochemical, biogenetic gift placed upon him, I think he's definitely going to need that multi-tool scoring formula where he's like taking other pieces, once again, adapting. So he's not just dangerous if he's gotten past all the defenders. He's not just dangerous if he's in a one-on-one. He's dangerous everywhere. And that'll really help him level up. But let's see. No, I haven't done a single thing. I mean, yeah. I was about to try and comfort Ness, but yeah. Let's see. Stop with that miserable look. It's unbecoming of you. Our target is Lorenzo. If we repel Lorenzo off me, we'll win. Got it, Daddy. I mean, got it, got it, Kaiser. Leave Lorenzo to me. I love, like, notably, once again, when I say fandom interaction, I mainly just mean like I read posts. I read posts and I see like stuff on other social media feeds. But I love the way the fandom characterizes Ness as like this yandere-esque like that kind of guy. I love how the fandom characterizes him like that. And honestly, the narrative does it too, so it really works out. But like, yes, Father Kaiser, leave Lorenzo to me. And then he just bang! He just unloads on Lorenzo. Rips his golds out live on air. Like, how do you feel, Lorenzo? How do you feel? Jeez, Lorenzo got some long arms, boy. Hold on. His arms are like at his knee. My arm, where do y'all arms reach? My arms reach about like mid-thigh. That's about where my arms end in terms of like reach. I mean, like if I'm like standing straight up and I like right in my back, my barely reach mid thigh. Like, so where do y'all's reach? Because Lorenzo, he got them basketball arms. He picked the wrong sport. Snuffy was the wrong kind of person to come up to him. He needed someone else to come get him. Because jeez, look at them arms. Them arms are lanky, a lanky boy. But let's see. He is a midget. He is tiny. He is so tiny. What? Okay. Chigiri was right. What is this, bro? I get Isagi's standing on a slightly elevated position, but what is this? How tall are you, boy? How tall? Hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. Rewind. Back in time. Hold on, bro. How tall are you, bro? Don't lie to me, bro. Oh, he's sneaky with it. I do not know, but Isagi, hold on. How tall is Isagi? I'm gonna guesstimate. I'm going to genuinely guesstimate. Hold on, bro. How is he so fast? His legs must be scurrying. But hold on, bro. There's no way, broski. There's no way. Take me to Yoichi Isagi. 175. I think that's legit. Just 5. Nah. We just gonna do the converter again. 175 centimeters. The feet. Get the feet out, Isagi. Get the feet out. I know some of y'all want to see Isagi's feet. Let's see. 5'7". Isagi's not even 5'9". He's 5'7". How tall is 180 centimeters? I thought 180 centimeters was 6 foot. Am I wrong? 187 meters is 5'9"? Jeez. Wow. Color me surprised. But jeez. So Isagi's 5'7". And the top of Corona's head is about up to his ear. We have the ruler. So I don't know. I have a big head. Like I know for a fact. Like the doctor told my mother when I was born. She told that mom with a pencil that her son had a big head. But let me see. From here to here, how many inches is that? Because he's about up to Isagi's. Let's say he's up to here on Isagi, above his ear. So let's go right here. How many? No way. There is no way Corona's. I'm gonna chalk that up to me having a big head. There's no way Corona's 5'1" or 5 foot flat. There's no way. If he really is that small and he's that fast, he's also playing the wrong sport. Bro needs to go run in the Olympics. What? Bro really is tiny. Shigiri was right. Shigiri was right. But let's see. Wow. Isagi, how many strategies do you think Ubers has up their sleeve? I don't know. But if we keep playing within their expectations, we're done. Pinch. I love Corona so much, bro. Like if Corona scores, if he ever scores, he's gonna be a top 5 character for me. Like if I ever actually see Corona like get a goal, whether it's given to him by Isagi or something like that, or he scores on his own, he's gonna be a top 5 character. I love Corona so much, bro. He's such a and he like me because like I don't do it. I mean, I think I do it sometimes in videos, but like notably a thing that I've been told a lot is that I repeat words twice. Like twice, like something like that. Like I do things like that all the time in common conversation. I don't know. Maybe I do it in videos and I just don't notice it. Because I don't notice when I do it in conversation either. People just point it out to me. And in Corona does the same thing. So I feel kinship. I feel kinship with Corona. So what now? You got some sort of a strategy is useless if the enemy is able to counter and predict it. Remember what Noah told us before the game? The key to this game is winning 1v1 duels. Okay, so yeah, Yukimai, he's gonna have to be useful. He's gonna have to step up here. I think so, because that's his thing. That's his whole thing. He's the 1v1 emperor for a reason. So I definitely think Yukimai, he's gonna have to step up and really like, not put Ubers on his back, but kind of put Ubers on his back. Well, not Ubers on his back, BM on his back, because he's gonna be the 1v1 offensive specialist. Meanwhile, I believe Raichi's gonna have to develop into the 1v1 defensive specialist. In order to win the offensive, you're gonna need Yukimai. And in order to win the defensive, you're gonna need Raichi. And I still think Hiyori's gonna be super necessary because what you need is Hiyori's long passes. Because if Hiyori can draw the attention and draw the ire and get all of Ubers to jump him, but then he sends an Itoshi Sei level of pass like halfway down the field to an Isagi or to a Yukimai or to a Corona, then things get tragic. And that's why I think Corona's going to kind of have to like haunt Isagi. Not Corona. Hiyori's going to have to like haunt Isagi once he gets on the field. So when Isagi uses his Metavision to get the ball away from Ubers, Isagi's going to have to essentially immediately give it up. He's going to have to immediately give it up to either Raichi if he's close by or Hiyori, who can then send the ball. Just send it out and away. And then Isagi's essentially, since we know he's been training for speed and stuff like that, speed and endurance, he's essentially going to have to just blitz down the field or blitz away to hope people like Nico, to hope people like RU, to hope people like that don't catch him. Because if they can't catch him, then that's it. He's just gone. He's just zoomed and gone, and then that'll be good for him. But let's see. Winning your 1v1 duels. All right, so Kaiser and Ness are still starting off here. All right, so let's see what Ness got cooking. We can create things in the midfield. With Kaiser and myself, we can easily dominate the middle third. All right, so let's see it. So they're going to still play the 1v1 game. I think it's going to get shut down, though. Once again, either Ness is going to have to get subbed out because he's failing, and or Kaiser is going to have to go all out on his own. I don't think, because the 1-2 strategy has already been predicted. Like, they shut down a 3, not a 1-2. They shut down like a 3-man strategy. It was Grimm, Ness, and Kaiser, and they still managed to shut that down. Lorenzo alone did. So I don't know. I'm not sure if this plan's going to work. Let's see. The challenge is the attacking third. When dividing the pitch into thirds, attacking the third space. Attacking third is a space in front of the goal. I'll do whatever it takes to help Kaiser score. Miguel. 1v1, okay. Okay. He does look kind of ugly there, though. Like, admittedly, I'm still not the biggest fan of Lorenzo's design, but he does look a little bit off there. But let's see. It's a 2v1, you gold-toothed weirdo. Oh, okay. Are you going to attack me like that? Interesting. Why are you throwing Ness at him, though? Like, why would you throw Ness? I mean, I guess to get Kaiser freed up, but let's see. 1-2 block. Okay. So that's interesting. That's kind of low-key an Agi theft. Well, Agi's the flick heal pass is not exclusive to Agi. But that's the main guy I remember doing it. Specifically in a scenario where it seemed like a character was going to come get the ball. What do? Have the offensive character, boop, just kick it right behind and send it to a person who's open. So that's a smart way in order to get past Lorenzo. You essentially have to bank on the fact that, as Nagi said, it's impossible for people to immediately go in the opposite direction. It's impossible for people to run backwards, essentially. So you take the fact that you got the lob, you got Kaiser freed up, and Kaiser's already sprinting ahead. So in order for Lorenzo to catch up, he needs to do he needs to get off Ness for what? Ness is all up on Lorenzo's meat right here, as you can see. So he needs to get off of Ness, then turn, then try and catch Kaiser. And Kaiser's pretty fast. Like, I forget exactly what his stats are, but I think he has a really either an A or an S in speed. Not an S. I don't think it's an S. But he at least has like a high A in speed. So Lorenzo being able to catch that is a little bit iffy. It's a little bit iffy. So that's a smart play by these two. But once again, Lorenzo probably isn't alone. Let's see. Oh, not bad, Ness. Got a little stronger, I see. I'm Kaiser Shield. I mean, like, once again, I am not here to judge outwardly. But that's a lie. I am here to judge outwardly. I mean, well, not necessarily. If you have a homeboy or homegirl or anyone who you feel like 100% dedicating yourself to the point where you are willing to serve them subserviently, that's fine. I can't even knock the hustle. It's just not something that I'm into, personally. I don't think, and I have people I deeply care for. I have people who knows the kind of lengths I'd go to help them. But, I'm not degrading myself. I'm not going to say I'm so-and-so's shield. I'll do anything so-and-so. Oh, so-and-so gave someone else attention other than me. Even when I was, deep. There was one time in my life where I was crushing, and I mean crushing. This girl had me feel like I was singing Justin Bieber love songs. That's how deep, down bad, and just lost in the sauce that I was. Even still, she could never have got me like this. Not, I'm her shield. I'm her sword. I'll do anything for her. Never like that. But Ness seems committed. Let's see, I'm Kaiser's shield. Nah, but that's Patsa. Ah, my boy. Look at him. He loves the headbutts. He's I think who has done more headbutts than Ari? Well, it makes sense, he's a tall dude who can jump, so he's gonna be headbutting. But he's consistent with it. The only other guy I specifically remember doing headbutts like he does is that one really, really tall dude. So shout outs to him. Oh, and Dada. Dada also did I think he did a headbutt for a goal. And Kunigami. Those are the 4 characters I remember doing headbutts in Blue Lock. So shout out to my boy Aryu. Shout out to my boy Aryu. He really playing defense. And that is crazy. My turn. Oh, wait, no. This is not Lorenzo anymore. My turn to shine. Whoa, seriously? You're telling me that was in their expectations as well? I think any 2v1 scenario is going to be within their expectations. Anything conventional that half of the team can pull off is probably going to be, right there, if I had to guess. Because, there are only so many things you can do, right? Think about it logically. Especially with someone like Snuffy, as crafty as he is, he's probably, said, okay, we know, just based on their previous games, they don't like each other. So you're probably going to have to deal with either what we saw in Manshine, Isagi and Corona, or you're going to have to deal with Kaiser and Ness. Those are the 2v1s or duos you're going to have to deal with. Here's every single logical play they could make within their specs. Prepare. And then that's it. And they do have the perfect tools defensively to overwhelm anything that team could do, when you really think about it, at least in the traditional duo scenario. Because, once again, you're right, you have Aryu, who controls the entire airspace, so him on the defensive line, boom, he's going to negate everything. You have Nico, essentially just mini Isagi, who can probably counter everything Isagi has to do. They are confirmed to have pretty similar vision and pretty similar eyes and brain. Isagi even admits that Nico kind of outthought him within the U20 match a little bit when Nico came out and stopped Shido from scoring. So, they're already on the same level. So sure, Nico's slower and shorter, most likely, but that doesn't mean he can't come out the clutch and really shut down Isagi. Corona, the only person who's kind of unaccounted for is Corona, because Corona's very speedy. But even still, you have Aiku. Aiku's dealt with speedsters before, or something close to a speedster. He's dealt with Shigeris. He's dealt with Rin. So like there are ways he's dealt with that too. So you have Aiku as the final wall. So I think they're pretty well set up. And obviously Lorenzo has Kaiser. So you have ways. You have a 4-man to stop the 4-man, being completely honest. So it makes sense that Ubers has kind of predicted everything. Because it's not overly complicated too. It's not like there's anything too crazy. They would have to literally start playing illogically more than they already are in order to really catch Ubers off guard here. So it looks like Snuffy did a really good job of preparing them. What kind of visualization and simulation training are they doing at Ubers? Exterminating the flies is my job. Ness, loose ball. My ball. Okay. And once again, that's the big thing. Okay, that's intriguing though. So remember what I mentioned here, that in order for Lorenzo to chase Kaiser, if Kaiser got the ball going forward, Lorenzo would have to essentially push Ness off, because I don't think Ness would be interested in Lorenzo like that. So push Ness off, turn around, and hit the 180. However, in that same vein, in order for Ness to get a loose ball like this, he would now have to get past Lorenzo. But considering Lorenzo was already behind him, of course Lorenzo can just appear and be like, my ball. No, you can't have that. So it makes sense. It makes sense within context. Lorenzo's going to get the ball. If Ubers manages to flip the switch again, the counters... Not good enough, Lorenzo. That's my boy. Look at the puzzle pieces falling off that man. I told you Barrow was going to get tragic, you paddock. You know, the stuff is automatic. Like, come on now, Barrow. You knew that was coming. Not good enough, Lorenzo. Oh, Mr. 50 mil. Yoichi, I got it. I see it. The duel I need to win. Oh, interesting. From Ness's block to Ryu's clearance to retrieving the loose... Now that I think about it, it's interesting that... But then again, we know Kaiser does not use Metavision as often as Isagi does. He uses it, but he doesn't use it as like Isagi essentially enters the game and is in Metavision. The only time Isagi's not in Metavision is in between plays. It seems like every other time he's used again. Offensively, defensively, midfieldishly, like... Always Metavision is on for Isagi. So maybe that's why Kaiser didn't predict it. But I'm shocked Kaiser would go for something like that. But then again, I guess he doesn't know Ryu that well. And I for some reason, I feel like Ryu's not the kind of guy to review the tapes. And like Ryu did have a good defensive profile in the U20, but nothing that really like dealt with his jumping ability. Like there's nothing he did in U20 that would have like really showed off his ability to leap and shut down things like that. That's exclusively for us readers since we watched the second selection. So Kaiser being caught off guard makes sense. While Isagi, who knows Ryu, has played against Ryu and knows how he rolls with that defensive play, yeah, he would be good for that. So let's see. If I try to stop and analyze the situation first, it's obvious that Ubers, with their infinite strategies and perfect teamwork, are going to outread me. But in fluid, chaotic flow of the game, in 1v1 situations, my Metavision is better. But you would think that, but you tried to use your Metavision last time you did this, and it got shut down. So I don't know, Isagi. I think you're going to need someone you can immediately get the ball to. Preferably someone like Raichi. But Raichi's on the defensive line more so it's going to be hard to use Raichi. So you're always kind of need to immediately get the ball away. You can't hold it. I don't think you can hold it. Because as much better as your 1v1 ability has become, you can definitely hold the ball a lot better. I still think you're going to need that extra support here. Because people, they can shut you down. Like if Aiku shows up here, that's it. That's a GG. So you're losing that ball. But let's see. Is that my son? And his eyes? They're sparking. Before Isagi could even react, Nico came out the cut. Wow. Wait, do you see Nico anywhere earlier in the chapter? Hold on, let's take a look. Start of the play. All right. No, that's Sendo. That's Barrow. And I don't know who that is, but it's not Nico. Nope. Lorenzo. Still no Nico in any of these shots. Interesting. So if I had to take oh, there he is. Okay, so what I'm assuming here, Isagi dove in from the left. And then Nico, seeing Isagi diving in to get that ball, probably immediately sprint. That's why he seems so like sparked up here or electrified, because he knew the moment Isagi would have to trap the ball to get control over it like he did here, he would already be there and he'd be able to tell where the ball is going to go to just immediately poof, just push right past it. So that's why he comes out clutch. Like, I'm assuming this is going to be a ball that's going to go out for like a BM throw-in. Oh, yeah. So that was an out of control play by Nico. That wasn't even like fully. He reacted seemingly enough by instinct. That was more an instinctual reaction. You can tell by how he's looking here. And notably, he doesn't even seem to be in flow because he doesn't have the Skeletor. But let's see. Hey, that was a foul. Out of bounds. BM throw-in. I can't believe it. How was Nico able to stop me? I know I definitely moved in a way that Ubers didn't expect. Isagi-kun, as expected, your vision and football IQ are top-notch. We're two birds of a... Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. All right, Nico. Okay. I was talking that smack. Okay, Nico. Okay. I see you, Nico. I see you, my boy. Oh, let me watch my tone. Let me watch my tone, then, Nico. Okay. All right. My son has Metavision. At least the variation that we see Aiku and Rayo develop. But even still, that kind of Metavision is really, really wow. Notably, I probably shouldn't be this excited for this. Don't tell me, Nico also has Metavision. Yeah, he does. Look at my son. Look at my boy. But shouldn't be too surprised about this. Everyone's predicting he had Metavision. Like, that wasn't anything too crazy, but actually seeing it. Predicting it and seeing it are two different things. And he looks really metal with Metavision. The one-eye Metavision, even though, once again, my complaints about his haircut are still standing. Regardless of that, that does look pretty heat. All right. Though, admittedly, something's already up. Look at the difference in sweat between the two. This is going to be a stamina game. Because if Nico also has Metavision, it's gonna be two things. It's going to be a stamina game, and it's going to be the level of Metavision. Isagi's going to have to infuse Predator Eye, and he's going to have to evolve it again. He's going to have to, like, utilize protagonism again. Because if Metavision is going to become a common trait, it's already going to get power creep. Like, if Nico's got it, I'm going to assume Aiku's got it. Or you probably not. But, like, a lot of people are going to be developing Metavision. I'm assuming Metavision is going to be super common once they get to the World Cup arc. So Isagi's going to have to keep evolving it here. And evolving it against Nico, it'll be a good plan. Once again, Nico is just the Isagi that never could. He's the Isagi that failed, essentially, and just could not. And he's just a year younger, or 2 years younger, I think. Isagi's what, 17, and then Nico's 15. So that's very interesting. I'm excited. I'm happy my boys got Metavision. That's gonna be interesting because now what are they really gonna be able to do? Are we gonna have the? I think Hiyori's just, if we're not gonna do the combination thing, here and now, and we're not going to have the two halves of BM merge and work together, I think we're going to need Hiyorian. And he's going to have to be the one that's going to really long range it. Because once again, look at what happened here. Close range interaction. Everyone's essentially on top of each other. Heck, like Isagi's clearly even overlapping Lorenzo here. Lorenzo could have stepped forward. Nico obviously was the one who came in and did it, but the defense, it's also close range. It's also close knit. You need that somebody. You need that person who can come out the cut and just long range instantaneously. And note, we know that Hiyori's really, really efficient with that. We know he's quick with it. He just takes a quick glance, boom, ball's gone. So you're going to need something like that. You're going to need not only people who can do the 1v1s in the offensive style, like Yukimaya, not just people who can do it defensively, like Raichi, but you're gonna need that person who can kind of just skip the 1v1 aspect, like Hiyori, with the long-range passes. But overall, let's see what the last chapter text has to say. I'm scrolling. Give it to me! After believing he could control the entire field, Isagi gets a reality check when Nico easily stops him. As Nico reveals he has specs similar to Metavision, but not Metavision exactly. How will Isagi adjust? Meanwhile, the tension between the various 1v1 duels ratchets up even higher. To be continued in chapter 218, Game Changer. It's got to be Hiyori something in. Ness is going to get kicked. I think Ness is going to have to get kicked. I think that's the only thing. What else would be the Game Changer? Like, unless they just talk about Nico having Metavision be a Game Changer, which it is. They could focus that. But I think someone's going to get subbed in. Either it's going to be the Masters or it's going to be Hiyori. Someone's getting subbed in. I can tell. However, I pre-drew. Just this last page alone would make the chapter peak. But yes, peak lock, worthy, amazing chapter this week. Worth the 2-week wait. Why? Why was it worth the 2-week wait? Pen will tell me. One, I love the early elaboration on Predator Eye. Isagi's breaking down an understanding of the new technique that Baro has. Super duper interesting. Once again, I love seeing Isagi think. Bro really is the thinker, and I love seeing that. And obviously seeing Baro posed up. I love the exploration and continuation of this rivalry. It's one of my favorites in all of Blue Lock. It's not my favorite. Like, definitively, I put Rin and Kaiser definitely above the Baro Isagi rivalry, but I'm pretty sure it's quite definitively number 3, and that's no short praise. So I love seeing that for the develop. Love seeing Isagi think, become the thinker, understand Baro and his mentality and his new playstyle more. I love seeing our 2 duos really like level up and prepare and be like, okay, this is what we got to do. We're gonna have to start cooking. Love seeing Kaiser take control of the situation. Ness, I'm not the biggest fan of Ness being subservient, but you know, I'm gonna make a whole video on Ness. I already drew for it, so like, I'll give more of my thoughts on Ness in that video. But obviously seeing my short boy, my beloved short boy Corona and Isagi, that duo rocket in, and even Yuki Maya trying to contribute, be like, hey, you got a plan or something? I like that. I love the character interactions, and I like this play here. Even, it's very interesting. I like seeing the back heel pass, and I love seeing Ryu come in and shut it down. It's just a really, ironically enough, the early part of the chapter is very like, it's not too fast. It's a lot of character interaction and talking, but I like the talking. I like the character interaction. But then the next part of the chapter is really fast paced. There's a lot of motion, a lot of movement in this ocean, and I love it. I love seeing Isagi come in and get shut down by my boy, who now has Metavision. Overall, just a super duper hype chapter, and I'm super ready and excited for the next one. However, that's what I think. Please let you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the notifications bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a picture down below which will result as one $1 month. Get the links to some videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for result as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you so much once again, and hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with a ruler, I guess, writing off.